7. Toxic people that drain every dark chosen one's energy. There comes a moment in your awakening when you stop fearing demons and start fearing people. Because let's be brutally honest, darkness doesn't always come with horns. It comes with smiles, with hugs, with laughter that hides a hunger. If you are a dark chosen one, you've felt it. The weight in your chest after certain conversations, the sudden fatigue after being in a room with someone, the way your dreams shrink after sharing them with the wrong ears, and you wonder, what's wrong with me? Why do I feel so drained? The truth? Nothing is wrong with you. Something is wrong with what you're letting in. There are 7 types of toxic people that every dark chosen one encounters, not by accident, but by design. They are spiritual parasites drawn to your frequency because your energy is a rare currency. They can't create what you create, so they feed. They feed without asking, without guilt, sometimes without even knowing. And if you don't learn to see them for what they are, they will keep eating pieces of you until the fire in you dims to smoke.
Click subscribe to this channel to get more profound spiritual lesson.
Let's talk about the first type, the subtle doubter. This one doesn't scream negativity in your face. They don't openly mock your dreams. They're smarter than that. They plant quiet seeds of doubt in the soil of your soul. You say, "I feel called to start this project," and they reply, "That sounds ambitious. Are you sure you can handle it?" That little pause, that slight raise of the eyebrow, it's poison disguised as concern. And why does it hurt so much? Because doubt from strangers bounces off. Doubt from someone close pierces like a blade. If you've ever left a conversation feeling smaller than when you entered, you've met this one. And here's the question: why do you keep them around? Is it loyalty? Is it fear of being alone? Or is it that tiny part of you that still doesn't believe in your own greatness? The second type is the emotional black hole. You know them. Their life is an endless crisis. There's always drama, always chaos, always a fire that needs you to put it out. They text you at 3 a.m. because they can't handle it anymore. They call when you're finally feeling at peace, and after 45 minutes your soul feels like a battlefield. They never recharge you. They never leave you lighter, and you tell yourself, "I'm helping them." But are you? Or are you bleeding yourself dry for someone who doesn't want healing, just an audience for their suffering? This isn't compassion. This is slow spiritual suicide. And you need to ask yourself, when did you decide that saving people was your job? Then comes the most seductive of them all, the secret competitor. On the surface, they cheer for you. They like your posts. They smile when you share good news. But if you look closely, there's a flicker, a shadow in their eyes when you win. They love you as long as you stay beneath them. The moment you rise, they shift. They become distant, cold, or worse. They start competing with you in ways that feel like betrayal. And here's the dangerous part. You might cling to them because they once made you feel loved. But love with conditions is not love. It's a leash. And if you keep wearing it, don't be surprised when your spirit starts choking. Let's pause. Out of these 3, which one feels the most familiar? Which one has a face in your memory right now? And here's the deeper question: why are they still in your orbit? Because here's the truth that will sting. Toxic people don't just exist because they want to drain you. They exist because part of you allows it, and until you rip out that part, until you stop confusing pain with loyalty, you will keep meeting the same faces in different bodies. Now, I need you to hear me clearly. Setting boundaries isn't spiritual arrogance, it's spiritual hygiene. Do you shower every day to stay clean? Then why do you let your soul swim in sewage without flinching? You are not here to be everyone's healer, everyone's therapist, everyone's punching bag. You are here to rise so high that your very existence becomes medicine for the world, and you can't do that if you're crawling under the weight of parasites. But here's what most people won't tell you. Some of the most toxic people you'll ever meet are not strangers. They're blood, they're family, they're lovers who swore they'd die for you. And when the time comes to protect your energy, it will feel like cutting off your own limb. That's why most people never do it. They settle, they shrink, they choose comfort over sovereignty, and then they wonder why their fire turns to smoke. Are you ready for a truth so raw it might break something in you? The universe will never remove what you refuse to confront. Those people who keep draining you, they are lessons, they are mirrors. And until you learn the lesson, until you say no more, the cycle continues. So the real question is not, why are they doing this to me? The question is, why am I allowing it? And before you think this is just about people, let me warn you. The next 4 toxic types are darker. They are spiritual shapeshifters. People who will mimic your dreams, echo your words, even share your beliefs just to stay close enough to feed. These are the ones that will make you doubt your gift, your calling, even your sanity. Are you strong enough to see them for what they are? Because in the next part, we're diving into the shadows you didn't know existed. The manipulators, the covert controllers, the ones who wear masks made of love but carry daggers behind their backs. Ask yourself now, how much of your destiny are you willing to sacrifice just to keep false peace? Because if you keep saying yes to what drains you, you're saying no to what you were born to do. And deep down, you already know that's the real reason you've been feeling so tired. It's not life that's exhausting you, it's the company you keep. Prepare yourself. What I'm about to show you next isn't just advice, it's a spiritual X-ray of human darkness. And once you see it, you can never unsee it. The masks they wear and how they hijack your soul without you knowing. They look harmless. Sometimes they look holy. And that's what makes them so lethal. Because the most dangerous people aren't the ones who come with knives. They're the ones who come with prayers. They'll whisper words that sound like support, but underneath, they are tightening the rope around your spirit. These are the next toxic types every dark chosen one must recognize before it's too late. The 4th type is the silent saboteur. They don't confront you, they don't argue, they agree with everything you say to your face, but behind the curtain, they're pulling strings that make your dreams collapse. They're the co-worker who smiles at you in meetings while quietly poisoning your reputation. The friend who listens to your plans and then plants seeds of fear in others to turn them against you. They never leave fingerprints. That's their art. And here's the catch. They feed on the chaos they create because it makes them feel in control. You'll never catch them in the act unless you stop ignoring your intuition. You know that gut twist when you leave their presence? That's your spirit screaming, They are not what they seem. But do you listen? Or do you keep telling yourself you're being paranoid? Then comes the fifth type, the spiritual pretender. This one is the hardest to detect because they speak your language. They quote the same scriptures. They post about love and light. They even talk about shadow work and awakening. But pay attention. When your light shines too bright, when your breakthrough starts to outgrow theirs, the mask slips. Suddenly they start correcting you publicly, challenging your wisdom under the guise of guidance, or worse, stealing your ideas and presenting them as their own. Their entire persona is built on performance, not transformation. And if you let them stay close, they will drain you in the name of spirituality while convincing you it's for your growth. The question is, do you love truth enough to call a fraud, even when everyone else calls them a saint? The sixth type is the emotional puppeteer. They weaponize your empathy. They know your heart bleeds for people, so they make sure they're always bleeding in front of you. They don't need your advice, they need your energy. They'll cry when they sense you're pulling away, collapse when you set boundaries, and suddenly change just enough to keep you hooked. And here's the psychological trick. They're not chaotic all the time. They give you little highs, moments of gratitude, promises of progress, just enough for you to believe maybe this time it will be different. But it never is, because they're not looking for healing, they're looking for control. They thrive on the unspoken contract, your time, your strength, your peace, in exchange for their temporary calm. And if you don't tear up that contract, they'll keep cashing your soul like an endless check. And now we arrive at the seventh and deadliest type, the mirror thief. They don't just want your energy, they want your identity. They study you like scripture, mimic your voice, your style, your beliefs. At first it feels flattering. Someone finally gets you. But soon it turns sinister. They start presenting your essence as theirs, wearing your uniqueness like a costume. And here's the part that will make your blood run cold. They don't just copy you, they compete with you using pieces of you. It's like spiritual cannibalism. And if you don't reclaim your reflection, one day you'll look in the mirror and wonder, who am I without them? So why do these masks exist? Why does the universe allow such predators near the chosen ones? Because the battle for sovereignty isn't fought on mountaintops. It's fought in the everyday moments where you choose between boundaries and bondage. These people are tests. They are the sacred fires that force you to burn through your addiction to approval, your fear of loneliness, your need to rescue everyone. Every yes you give to what drains you is a no to what you were born to do. And that's the real theft. Not your energy, not your ideas, but your destiny. Now I want you to sit with this question, and I mean really sit with it. When was the last time you felt light after being with someone? Not entertained, not distracted, light. If you can't remember, you've built your life around energy vampires and called it loyalty. But you are not here to be loyal to your pain, you are here to be loyal to your purpose. And in the next part, we're going to rip this open even further. We'll talk about why these toxic types keep finding you, what unhealed patterns make you a magnet for them, and the radical steps you need to take not just to remove them, but to transform into someone they can never touch again. Because the truth is, cutting people off isn't enough if you keep leaving the door unlocked inside your soul. Why they keep finding you and how to become untouchable. Let's stop pretending it's a coincidence. The same types of people keep showing up in your life, just with different names, different faces, different disguises. They find you when you're rising, they appear right before a breakthrough, and every time you start to shine, they get closer. Why? Because you are not just a person, you are a source. A chosen one doesn't just walk through life unnoticed. Your presence disturbs the frequency of those still asleep. You carry energy that feels ancient, unsettling, magnetic. You don't even have to speak, and people sense something different. Some will be drawn to it for healing, others will be drawn to it to steal it, but they all feel it. So why do the toxic ones keep coming? Why do manipulators, leeches, and competitors seem to orbit your world like moths around a flame? The truth is brutal, because part of you lets them in. Part of you, even the awakened part, still believes you must earn love by enduring pain. Somewhere deep in your wiring, probably seeded from childhood or past lives, lives the belief that love comes with suffering, that being needed is the same as being valued, that self-worth is measured by how much you're willing to sacrifice, and that inner code, until you break it, acts like a beacon for every unhealed soul looking for a battery to plug into. You see, your energy is not ordinary. Dark chosen ones were forged in fire. You survived things that would have destroyed others. And because of that, your aura carries the scent of resilience, power, mystery. But here's the curse hidden inside that blessing. Your survival energy can feel like a rescue boat to people who have no intention of learning to swim. And the more you rescue, the more they cling, not because they love you, but because they fear doing the work themselves. Here's the question you need to ask yourself now, and don't rush to answer. Who are you when you're not helping someone else survive? When you're not fixing, healing, proving, defending, or holding someone together? Do you even recognize that version of yourself? If not, then you've built your identity around being someone else's light. And that's why they keep finding you. Because your light isn't protected. It's desperate to be seen. The only way to become untouchable is to break this addiction to being the source for everyone else. You must become sacred about your energy. Not defensive, not cold, but precise. Boundaries are not walls, they are filters. They keep the unworthy out and your essence intact. But most of us don't set boundaries, we set traps. We hope people will notice we're drained, we hope they'll stop asking, we hope they'll finally understand. But hope is not a strategy, clarity is. You don't need to explain yourself to everyone. You don't owe your soul to anyone. The ones who are meant to walk with you will not drain you to stay beside you. Let me tell you a secret no guru will tell you because it's too real. Becoming untouchable isn't just about removing toxic people. It's about removing the parts of you that invite them in. It's about healing the trauma that whispers, "If I'm not needed, I'm not loved." That's the voice that makes you answer calls you shouldn't, keep friends you've outgrown, stay in rooms that kill your spirit slowly. The real battlefield is not outside, it's inside your nervous system. And do you know what happens when you finally silence that voice? You change your signal. You stop attracting pain dressed as connection. You stop entertaining apologies without change. You stop tolerating relationships that cost your peace. People will still try to reach you, but they'll feel it. They'll feel that your energy is no longer available for codependent exchanges. Your field becomes a mirror. It reflects truth, not comfort. And only those brave enough to meet you in your power will remain. The world will call you cold. Let them. The old version of you that bled for validation is gone. The version that confused being drained with being noble is dead. What rises in its place is someone dangerous to illusions, someone whose presence forces everyone around them to evolve or exit. That's what it means to be untouchable. Not arrogant, not distant, but rooted, grounded, aligned, so deeply in tune with your own frequency that anyone who comes with lies, manipulation, or hidden hunger gets repelled before they even get close. And this is the part no one tells you. Once you become this version of yourself, you stop needing to protect your energy, because your energy becomes protection itself. It becomes a field of sacred fire. And no shadow can live in fire without being purified or destroyed. That's the power of a fully awakened dark chosen one. Your very existence becomes a judgment day for everything false. In the final part, I'll show you how to use this awakened state, not just to protect yourself, but to elevate everyone around you without being drained. Because you were never meant to dim your light to fit in. You were meant to become the kind of light that exposes everything in the room and makes others rise just by standing next to you. But you must choose it, not once, but every day, from source to sovereign. How to radiate without being robbed. Close your eyes and imagine this. You are standing in the center of a storm. Winds roar, voices swirl, people reach out with hands like hooks, pulling, pulling, pulling. This is how life has always felt for you. Chaotic, draining, like every day is a fight to keep a little piece of yourself from being stolen. But then something shifts. You take one step inward, deep into the core of your being. And suddenly, everything changes. The storm is still there, but it can't touch you anymore. You're not just surviving the pull, you're radiating so fiercely that the storm itself begins to bow. That's the transition from source to sovereign. That's the moment you stop bleeding for others and start blazing for yourself and for the world. But how do you get there? It starts with this truth. Energy protection is not about hiding, it's about sovereignty. It's about reclaiming what was always yours, the right to exist without apology, the right to say no without guilt, the right to stop being a power outlet for everyone else's dead batteries. Sovereignty is not something anyone gives you, it's something you decide. It's a vow you make to yourself. No more leaking, no more living half alive just so others feel whole. Because, let's be honest, that's what you've been doing. You've been carrying everyone else's weight, thinking it's noble. But here's the question that will change your life. How much longer will you keep betraying yourself to prove you're good? The first step to sovereignty is brutal but beautiful. You must stop negotiating your boundaries. Stop explaining them. Stop dressing them in apologies. A boundary is not a request. It's a declaration. You don't owe anyone an essay about why your peace matters. You don't need to justify why you no longer want to answer midnight crisis calls or entertain constant negativity. The moment you make your boundaries negotiable, you hand your sovereignty back on a silver platter. And sovereignty doesn't beg, it doesn't explain, it just is. The second step is even deeper. Rewrite your relationship with giving. Giving isn't wrong. You were born to give. Dark chosen ones are natural givers because we carry wells of insight, creativity, and love that others crave. But giving without discernment is just slow spiritual suicide. You are not the ocean for someone else's bottomless cup. You are a river, and rivers flow toward purpose, not into pits. Ask yourself, does this act of giving expand me or empty me? If it empties you, it's not holy. It's harmful. And if you keep doing it, don't call it love. Call it what it is. Self-abandonment disguised as kindness. The third step, build rituals that lock your energy back into your own orbit every single day. I'm not talking about Instagram aesthetics. I'm talking about the quiet moments that no one sees. The breath work before you pick up your phone. The prayer before you enter a room. The 5 minutes of stillness before you agree to anything. Every yes you give without checking in with your soul costs you. Sovereignty means you stop living on autopilot and start moving with intention, like every step is a spell. Because it is. And finally, the last step, remember why you're here. You were not sent to this planet to be drained to death. You were sent to awaken, to disrupt, to shift timelines by the very force of your frequency. But here's the paradox. You cannot raise the world if you keep lowering yourself to keep others comfortable. Your light was never meant to be a lifeline for those who refuse to swim. It was meant to be a lighthouse for those ready to rise. There's a difference. One keeps you chained, the other sets you free. When you become sovereign, you stop attracting parasites and start attracting powerhouses. You stop walking into rooms asking, who needs saving? And start asking, who's ready to build? You stop explaining your worth and start embodying it so loudly that people feel it before you even speak. This is the level where energy theft is no longer a threat, not because the world changed, but because you did. Your aura becomes a fortress, not made of walls, but of truth, not guarded by fear, but by alignment. And in that alignment, you radiate without being robbed. You give without being gutted. You love without losing yourself. So I leave you with this. Every soul that drained you was a teacher. Every betrayal was a syllabus. Every exhaustion was a warning bell. But class is over now. You've learned the lesson. You've burned through the old identity of the giver, the fixer, the martyr. What rises in its place is not a saint, not a savior, but a sovereign being, untouchable and unshakable, blazing in a darkness that can't dim you anymore. So what now? Do you keep dimming your flame to make others comfortable, or do you let the world adjust to your fire? Because that's the real question, and only you can answer it. But I promise you this, the moment you choose sovereignty, everything toxic will flee. Not because you fought it, but because it cannot breathe in the air of your awakening. That is the power you've always had. That is the crown you were born with, and now it's time to wear it.